If you've ever stared at a stock chart and just felt completely lost, trust me, you are not alone. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on one of the most basic yet powerful tools in any trader's toolkit, the simple moving average, or SMA. Let's see how this thing can turn pure market chaos into something that actually makes sense. I mean, just look at this chart, right? It's just a crazy zigzag of ups and downs, sharp spikes, sudden drops. How in the world are you supposed to figure out which way the price is actually heading? It looks like a total mess. But what if I told you there's a way to just smooth it all out? And that's exactly where this simple moving average, the SMA, comes into play. Think of it as a way to tame that wild price action we just saw. It's designed to cut right through all that noise and show you the clearer underlying trend that's hiding underneath. So what is this thing really? Well, put simply, the SMA just calculates the average price of something over a period of time that you choose. It uses the closing price, the final price at the end of the day, or the hour, or whatever, and turns all that jagged data into one single flowing line on your chart. It's all about smoothing things out. Okay, I know the word calculation can sound a little intimidating, but I promise you, the logic behind the SMA is so simple. Come on, let's pop the hood and take a quick look. Seriously, it's just 3 easy steps. First, you pick a time frame, your period. Let's say 5 days. Then you just add up the closing prices for each of those last 5 days. And finally, you divide that grand total by, you guessed it, 5. That's it. You've got your number. And that's pretty much the whole magic trick. Now look, your charting software is going to do all this for you in a split second, but really understanding how it works, that's what gives you the power to use this tool way more effectively. So we've covered the simple part, and we've covered the average part, but what about the moving part? This is what makes the SMA so cool and dynamic. See, this average doesn't just sit still. As every new day or hour comes to a close, a new price point is born. So to stay current, the indicator drops the oldest price from its calculation and adds the newest one. Then it recalculates the average. This makes the line move right along with the price. It's like a constantly updating snapshot of the trend. Okay, so we know what it is, we know how it's calculated, but why should you care? Well, this is where the SMA becomes an incredibly useful ally. It helps you see the bigger picture. Remember that chaotic chart from the beginning? Well, here it is again. But this time we've laid 3 different SMAs on top of it. We've got a fast one, a medium one, and a slow one. See how each one cuts through that noise and tells a different, much smoother story about what's going on? And this brings us to the most important trade-off you have to get your head around when you're using SMAs. The golden rule is this: the longer the period you choose, the slower that line is going to react to price changes. It gives you a much smoother line for sure, but there's more of a lag. A shorter period, on the other hand, is way more responsive, but it's also going to get knocked around by the noise a lot more. I like to think of it as the rocket versus the turtle. A short period SMA, like a 5-day, that's your rocket. It's fast, it's responsive, and it's great for seeing what's happening right now. A long period SMA, like a 62-day, that's your turtle. It's slow, it's steady, and it's much better for figuring out the big long-term trend. One isn't better than the other, they just have totally different jobs. And at the end of the day, that's the #1 job of the SMA. Just by looking at the slope of that line, you can get a quick read on the market's mood. Is it trending up? Is it trending down? Or is it just stuck going sideways? The SMA helps you answer that question with just a glance. But look, no tool is perfect, right? And the SMA has one pretty big weakness that you absolutely need to know about before you start relying on it. The source material puts it perfectly. The SMA's biggest issue is that it's susceptible to spikes. What does that mean? It means a single crazy price shock, maybe from a surprise news announcement, can throw the whole average out of whack for a bit and give you a really misleading picture. When that happens, you can get what's called a false signal. This is when the SMA line suddenly lurches in a new direction, making you think, oh wow, a new trend is starting, when really, it was just a temporary blip on the radar. Nothing has fundamentally changed. So why does this happen? Well, it's because the simple moving average is, well, it's simple. It gives the exact same weight, the same importance to every single price in its little window of time. So that one massive price spike gets just as much of a vote as all the other normal price days, and that can temporarily bend the average and trick the indicator.
So here's the bottom line. The SMA is a fantastic, essential tool for smoothing out price and seeing the general trend. It brings clarity where there was once chaos. But you have to remember, because of this one weakness, it's not foolproof.
Which, of course, leads to the next big question, right? If the good old SMA can be fooled by these price spikes, how do you get around that? I mean, is there another kind of moving average out there that's a little bit smarter? Maybe one that pays more attention to what's happening right now? Well, that's a great question for another time.